वृन्दस्य जय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमोचार्यपदाय नताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथानामदाय नगरकम्। Okay, welcome everyone for today's Bhagavatam session. And chapter today we are going to talk is on chapter 21. Last week, His Grace Premlata Prabhu had spoken about chapter 20. And maybe a very quick recap of this whole canto in terms of what all it sort of covered. Okay, so it starts with a discussion between Vidura and Uddhava. And then Uddhava actually directs Vidura to Maitreya Muni. And how Vidura meets Maitreya Muni and starts hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam from Maitreya Muni, including the creation of this world by Mahavishnu, then the entrance of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu into this universe, and the birth of Brahma, prayers of Brahma, then creation of the universe by Brahma, and then pastimes of Varahadev, and in two different manmantras, it actually happens. Okay, the first manmantra, which is called the Adi Varaha, and then in Shveta Varaha. And then finally, in the sixth mantra, as Neela Varaha. Okay, and Maitreya Muni came back to Brahmaji's creation. So this actually chapter, it describes a beautiful conversation, and it's a very holy conversation between Swayambhuva Manu and Kardama Muni. Okay, and it is not just for historical records, but it is a spiritual blueprint for an ideal family life, an ideal grihastha life. So that's why I said this is a very, very important topic, which we all need to understand, um, and then have a successful married life. And now, some of us will be thinking that I'm already married. Maybe I lost a chance, or I missed the chance of running a really good grahastha life, right? But what you can remember is you can't change the past, but you can always start where you are today and have the ending. Okay. I'm sure we all know in today's world, marriage is often seen as a contract for personal satisfaction. But the Vedic view, and it's sort of demonstrated in the verses below, is that a marriage is a sacred collaboration for mutual purification, okay, and to serve Krishna. That is the primary focus, okay. Based on this, let me start sharing my screen. Soumya Prabhu, can you please allow me to share my
Yes, bro. I'll
screen?
make you one of the
Thank
presenter.
you. It's so important that we develop those qualities of a good grihastha. Yes, we are already married. Some of us married for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, 25 years. I don't know anybody who is not married yet in this group, but everybody has an opportunity to really follow some of these principles. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. I will now share the screen. Please let me know if you are able to see this. Yeah, please let me know if you're able to see the screen, one of you.
Yes, Prabhu, we are able to see your
Yeah,
screen.
very good. Okay, so the various chapters we'll cover today is the first five shlokas. Vidura inquires about Manu, and the next six chapters, verses 6 to 12, Kardama Muni and gets Lord's darshan. Then Kardama Muni's prayers. Then Lord speaks to Kardama. Then Lord departs and Manu arrives. Then there's a description about this beautiful lake, Bindu Sarovar, which is on the banks of the river Saraswati, Mother Saraswati. And then finally, Kardama starts to receive Manu in this. Okay, so it's very important to understand that the qualities actually of Vidura, right? So, um, as always, Vidura starts inquiring about the various happenings. So, Vidura starts asking about, please explain to me about the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. Okay. And please, I beg you, and he's asking Maitre Muni, I beg you, please give me the how the progeny multiplied through the various things. And then he also asks the two great sons of Swayambhu Manu, Priyavarta and Uttanapada, and how they ruled the world and how which consisted of these seven islands and just according to the religious principles. And he also says, you have also spoken about his daughter, known by the name Devahuti, as wife of sage Kadwa Muni, so the lord of all the created beings. Then how many offsprings were given birth and how did they beget through this princess? And who are the perfect followers of this eightfold perfection in the yoga principle. Kadama Muni was a big yogi. Right? We'll come to know as we progress. And finally, he asks, how are those two daughters and the son of Brahma, who generated children after securing their wives with two other daughters of Swayambhu Manu. Okay, he is asking the whole lineage. It's very, very important to understand one thing, and the first takeaway for today from today's session is that the mode in which Vidura is seeking, in fact, he is begging and he's in a mode of surrenderance. And secondly, his eagerness or curiosity to know more about the Lord. Right? So it's very important that we develop these qualities when we are actually practicing Krishna consciousness, because the two most important qualities of a devotee for perfection in Krishna consciousness is all about the mode of surrenderance and also the eagerness and curiosity to inquire and understand more about the Lord. Okay. Um, so that's the first key takeaway which I would recommend us to make a note of in today's session. So Brahma actually had five children. Okay. And sorry, Brahma's son, which is Swayambhuva Manu, he manifested from Brahma, right? And Swayambhuva Manu married Shatarupa, and who have five children, two sons and three daughters. The two sons are Uttanapada and Priyavarta, and three daughters who are Devahuti, Akhuti, and Prasuti. So Maitreya Muni actually starts describing the lineage of Swayambhu Manu, and these descents of Swayambhu Manu will be described over the next from 3.21. The entire canto is all about Swayambhu Manu's lineage. So from 3.21 to Canto 5.15. Okay, so from today's session till end of Canto 3, it's all about the lineage of Devahuti. Okay, and then the fourth canto is all about Prasuti's lineage and Uttanapada and finally Priya Varta Maharaj. Okay, and so They also talk about, as we progress, we talk about Kardama Muni's austerities. Okay. So, very interestingly, before getting married, Kardama Muni wanted to please the Supreme Lord Hari. And before entering into the household life, he wanted to purify himself thoroughly by controlling his senses, his mind, and he performed penance for 10,000 years. Can you ever imagine or have anybody heard in our own lifetime, any male member, actually, if I have to put it, a male member performing penance to get a good wife? We have always seen Matajis and girls doing prayers, doing austerities, fasting, and all of those things for getting a good husband. But here from Srimad Bhagavatam, we also understand it is equally important for a male member to do austerity and penance and yoga and to get a really good wife, right? And why did he want to do this? Because he wanted his material desires is to be purified by divine alignment. See the mood in which Kardama Muni is actually writing, right? He's thinking that he wants his material desires to be purified by divine alignment, and hence he did austerity or penance for 10,000 years. And that's when its whole thing starts. And one who is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness is the topmost yogi. A lot of people, a lot of devotees or personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have heard or we will hear that they practice penance for various reasons. But then the most important thing in doing yogic, mystic yoga or penance is to engage in Krishna consciousness, and that is called the topmost yoga. Okay. And so during the period of penance, um, Kardama Muni also performs various devotional services and in trance. Okay. And in this sloka, they talk about two important words. Prapanna, that is to the surrendered souls, and Varadhistim means the bestower of all beings, okay, all blessings. So the sage Kardama Muni, by worshipping through his devotional service in trance and Lord, the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, who is the bestower of all the blessings upon those who flee to him to protection. So the Lord personally comes to protect his devotees who are surrendered to him and who are um, actually wanting to be under his shelter. Okay, so the Lord is very much pleased to prayers and penance and the devotional service of Kardama Muni, and he appears to the next four or five verses actually talk about the Lord's darshan. So it's important to understand that the most important function or realization of any living entity or the eyes in specific is once we take the darshan of the Lord, the eyes have really done justice to what they really have belonged to. And we have various descriptions of the Lord in multiple different um, shlokas, Puranas, and here um, the Lord's presence, Lord's um, you know, the paraphernalias, everything is described. Vyanyasta charanambujam amsa deshe garutmataha disvake avastitham vaksha shriyam kaustubakandharam. So the Lord is being described here. He is coming on a golden streak, right? He is wearing a golden streak on his chest, and the famous Kaustubha gem suspended from his neck. And he stood in air with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda. Vinyaste, that is, having been placed on Charanambujam. Ambujam means the lotus feet, Charana means lotus feet. Um, uh, is kept on where? Amsadeshe, which is the shoulders of Garud Mataha. So the Lord is actually standing on the shoulders of Garudev. How he's looking? He's looking with his golden streak on his chest, the famous Kaustubha gem, and suspended from his neck, and he's on the shoulders of um, Garuda. Okay. Now, the form of Krishna is described in various authoritative literatures, including Brahma Samhita, right? His board, his abode is made of Chintamani stones, right? And he is surrounded by millions of purpose trees, and the Lord plays there as a cowherd boys and is served by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. Okay, we have read or heard from Brahma Samhita, the shloka, right? Chintamani prakasatmusha kalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhir abhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So, Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha. So, his abode is made of Chintamani stones and Kalpavriksha, right? So he's surrounded by millions of purpose trees. Lakshmi Vrate Laksha Vrateshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shara Sambrahma Sevyamana means the Lord is served by hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. Okay? And what he is doing? He's simply playing with cowherd boys. That's how Lord Krishna is being described. And there's also a beautiful shloka in Mukundamala Stotra where Bhaktya Paya Bhujanga Garuda Manihi Trailokya Raksha Manir Gopi Lochana Chatakambhuda Mani. So they're saying um, he is the jewel riding on the back of a Garuda who protects the three worlds, Trilokya Raksha, and the jewel of the eyes of Gopi Lochana Chata Kambuda Mani. And he's the jewel of the eyes of gopis. So that is how he's being described by various different, and no different here. And Krishna coming and a beautiful picture you can see here, standing on Garuda's shoulders. And Kardamamani is extremely joyful and he is extremely happy. And he feels his eyes, right? And he is extremely satisfied by his transcendent desire has been fulfilled. The only desire for any devotee is to see the transcendental form of the Lord. And he immediately, the Kardama Muni, he immediately fell on the ground with his head bowed to offer obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Lord. And his heart is naturally full of God. With his folded hands, he satisfied the Lord with his prayers. Okay. Now, Kardama Muni actually then starts to offer his prayers, right? He says, O Supreme Worshipable Lord, my power of sight is now fulfilled. Having attained the greatest perfection of sight of you, who are the reservoirs of all existence, through many successive births of deep meditation, advanced yogis aspire to see your transcendental form. Imagine the purpose of of having eyes fulfilled, and that is to see the divine form of the Lord. And he says, "My eyes have attained the perfection." Actually, there are various types of people, and very specifically, there are people who worship the Lord, there are intelligent people, there are less intelligent people who also worship the Lord for material benediction. But pure devotees worship the Lord without any motive and they are selfless. Whereas the less intelligent people worship expecting some kind of a material benediction. After explaining about the less intelligent people, Kardama Muni says, "Oh, my dear Lord, I am also like that." He says, "I am also belong to the less intelligent people group. I also had a desire, and that's why I worshipped you." And what was that desire? Lord Brahma instructed me to get married and create progeny and increase the population of this universe. So I have worshipped you for 10,000 years with the desire to get a suitable wife, right? So now it's very important to see here that Kardama Muni is humbly putting himself as a materialistic and less intelligent person. Can you believe this? Is such a exalted, purified soul. He is showing himself as such a humble and materialistic and less intelligent person, right? But then he clarifies this. Actually, Lord, I worshipped you because of Brahma's instruction. It was not my personal desire to get a wife for sense gratification. And why did Brahma instruct this to me? Because you have instructed. So, and he clarifies, so basically, I am fulfilling your desire only. And I'm the instrument in your hands, O Lord. So, it's very important to notice that despite being a great yogi, Kardama Muni expresses his desire to marry. This actually shows that having material desires is not wrong. Many of us will have material desires, but it's so important as long as all of our material desires are offered to the Lord, it will be accepted and it will be purified and it becomes spiritual. I was hearing one lecture and there was a question put forth to our dear Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, I am actually struggling between my material life and spiritual life. Please enlighten me of how I can balance both, just like two parallel tracks of a train track. Then actually Guru Maharaj answered saying that, why are you having to maintain two parallel lives? Astonishing response. Why do you want to maintain material life and spiritual life? If you add Krishna in your material life, in everything you do, in everything you aspire for, that becomes spiritual life. So there is only one life. You're leading a spiritual life. The moment you have Krishna as a center of all of your activities, that becomes your spiritual life. And so you have to lead only one life. That's a beautiful response which our dear Guru Maharaj gave, and sort of reflect on that. In our own Grihastha life, it's very important what we all go through, right? So, as we go through the rest of the session, I'll speak more about what how we should lead a very good, very understanding Grihastha life. So Kardama Muni actually says that this is why I also went, and I'm bound by the instructions of Brahma. And then he says, however, people who have given up all of their stereotyped worldly affairs and also the beastly follows of these affairs and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxication nectar of your qualities and activities in discussion with one another. When we talk about the Lord's, um, you know, uh, Rupa, that is his appearance, then his form. We sing this in Guru Ashtakam, right? Where we say to that shloka. So here Kardama Muni is actually talking and prayers, offering prayers. Lokamsha lokanugatam pashum cha hitva shritasthya charanatra patram parasparam tvaguna vadasidu piyusha niryapita deha dharmaha. He's talking about if we have given up all of these worldly affairs and taking shelter of Charanatra Patram. Charana means lotus feet, Apatram means umbrella. So if we take the shelter of the lotus feet, which is like an umbrella, while we are talking Parasparam Tvaguna Vada Siddhu Piyusha. That means if we are talking about the Lord's qualities, right? And when we are involved in deep discussion, it is like intoxication and it is like a nectar also, right? So it is important that we read that Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam. So Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam. So basically, we talk about the pastimes of the Lord, we talk about the qualities of the God, we talk about the forms of the Lord, and we talk about the name which is in Kali Yuga, which has become and Kalikala Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So Lord Krishna has advented in the form of Namarupa, right? So um, Kardamamuni starts describing that time doesn't affect the devotees here at all. And he also describes the Lord and compares to a spider, okay? Because the spider actually creates its own cobwebs by its own energy and again winds up. So here the Lord has been described and compared to a spider because he says, "You alone can create the universe, O my Lord. Desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies." Right? He's a creator, he's a maintainer, destroyer, and you let your costless mercy be upon us and obeisance as so deeply um, prostrates big Danvat Pranam. And now the Lord uh, starts speaking because the Lord is extremely happy. His eyebrows moved gratefully as he looked at the sage, and with a smile of full of affection, the Lord spoke to Kardama Muni. And what is the Lord saying? The Lord is saying, Kardama, I am really deeply appreciative and deeply touched by your devotion and your penance and your devotional service. So I have already arranged a good wife for you. It's already taken care. You don't worry. And the person who serve me in devotion just like you, who have given everything unto me, there is no question of frustration. So don't worry about it. Don't feel that you're having materialistic desires. I have fully understood your motive behind this. So don't worry about it. I have already taken care of that. Right? And he says, just day after tomorrow, right? Just day after tomorrow, Swayambhuva Manu, who's the son of Lord Brahma and who's well known for his righteous acts, has his seat in Brahmavarta and rules over the earth with all its seven oceans. He will come with his wife Shatarupa, the queen and the empress, and along with their daughter, the beautiful Devahuti. Okay, and he also says he has a grown-up daughter whose eyes are as black as the jet Karamani, and she is ready for marriage. And very importantly, she has good characters and all good qualities. She is also actually searching for a good husband, and her parents will come to see you who are exactly suitable to her just to deliver their daughter as your wife, right? Now, similar qualities, good character, obedience, and compatibility, and suitable wife is very, very important um, for a successful grahastha life. Right? And finally, the Lord gives another benediction. It's very, very important. Um, the Lord, um, He comes and describes various different types, and then finally, Lord gives the most important benediction, right? And it is important to understand here, um, Kardama Muni, he never asked for this benediction. So the Lord says, I am extremely impressed with your devotion. So I will personally become your son, O Kardama. And although Kardama Muni has not asked for this benediction, so basically in this conversation, and we see that the Lord is actually arranging the marriage for his parents, right? Marriage. Um, Lord actually arranges marriage for many other devotees, as we have seen between Arjuna and Subhadra and so on and so forth. But it's very important to understand the Lord himself is arranging the marriage for his own parents. And he's so pleased with the austerities, with the penance and tapasya of Kardama Muni that he decides to come as his son. So, if our relationships are guided, a very important takeaway here is if our relationships are guided and by the divine instruction and selflessness, right? By divine instruction and selflessness, Krishna can appear in our home. Have we ever thought about it? And that too in the form of service, harmony, and satisfaction. Okay, so it's very important that if our relationship between husband, wife, children, parents, in-laws, if our um, uh, attitude and relationship is good, and the Lord can actually appear in our home. There are many examples we can see in our day-to-day life, but very important to be understanding this concept that the Lord should be in the center of our discussion of our home. Okay, even in our practical Grihastha life, couples who worship together, they serve devotees and support each other's sadhana, they will definitely feel the presence of the Lord in every single act they do in their day-to-day life. Okay. So, showing compassion to all living entities, um, you will attain self-realization. Now, the Lord is saying to Kardama Muni, by showing compassion to all living entities, you will attain self-realization. Giving assurance of safety to all, you will perceive your own self and as well as all universes in me and myself in you. Okay, he also says that you will finally return to me after performing this duties or this project for my sake, right? And if then says the Lord actually departs after that, and Manu arrives. Okay, just like the Lord predicted, the day after tomorrow, Swayambhuva Manu actually came with his wife Shatarupa and daughter Devahuti. And before he starts speaking, Maitra Muni actually describes the importance of the Bindu Sarovar. Okay, the Bindu Sarovar actually, it is called Bindu Sarovar because the drops of tears of the Lord had fallen from the eyes because he were totally overwhelmed by extreme compassion for the sage who had sought his protection. Can you imagine? The Lord has tears in his eyes because of the extreme, um, compassion and extreme prayers um, and dedication what Kardama Muni showed. And overwhelmed by the extreme compassion of the sage, the Lord's eyes is filled with tears, and that actually those drops fall in Bindu Sarovar. The Sarovar is on the banks of, it's made up of flooded by waters of river Saraswati. Okay. And it was a hosting for very eminent sages. And in this case, Kardama Muni is actually doing prayers, right? And further on, Maitra Muni actually goes on to describe how this Bindu Sarovar is looking like. Okay, it was surrounded by clusters of pious trees, and it was rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons. Rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons, right? And it had various different intoxicated peacocks proudly dancing, and the merry cuckoos called out one another, and they are enjoying. And the whole flowering trees like Kadamba, Champaka, Ashoka, Karanja, Mandhara, and a lot of young mango trees. This is the season of mango, right? So for us, we get mango only during this season, maybe April, May, June. Whereas in this Bindu Sarovar, the forest and the beautiful garden is always having these trees, very delicious fruits, and also various different fragrant flowers. Okay, so and they're also filled by pleasing notes of the ducks, the swans, the cranes, and the chakoras. Right, so this lake is just filled with all the auspicious things, which is the right setting for Kardama Muni and Devahuti to get married. And then subsequently, from there on, Kardama Muni actually um, uh, starts receiving Swayambhu Manu and glorifies the king like him, right? So Kardama is, remember, Kardama Muni is a Brahmana, and Swayambhu Manu is a Kshatriya. So when this kind of an intelligent class of people, Brahmanas are considered to be intelligent class, and Kshatriyas are considered to be warriors or administrative uh, class. And so when an intelligent class of people and administrative class of people work in sync, and then they cooperate with each other, then the universe will be great place for practicing Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, in today's world, these are not mm, in sync, and various different kind of calamities happen. Um, but it's unfortunate, but most important is that we find these kind of things, because those days the kings used to take the advice of the brahmanas and the sages. They have the munis and sages as their advisors, and they'll always be following the path of dharma and always follow the path of righteousness. So that's how it used to happen those days. Now, Kadma Muni also goes and describes more and more about Swayambhuva Manu. And he also says, you are the embody, the protecting energy. You are none other than Lord Vishnu. And without you, Varnashrama will be destroyed, irreligion will increase, and whatnot. Um, Whilst we also understand the journey of this chapter, it is also considered in various different purports and various different lectures I've heard. Um, the arrival of Devahuti and the readiness to serve. So Manu arrives with Devahuti, and we see Devahuti to be very humble, with full of humility and readiness to serve, and deep desire to follow the path of her husband. Okay, it is important that we understand those important qualities. What will be a success? What will be really helpful and make our grahastha life successful, right? Now, she also later in the subsequent chapters, we can hear about and see what she later lives in an austere environment in the forest with Kardamuni without any complaint or vanity. Right? It's very, very important that we understand the goal of life, and she embraces her dharma with love. Now, some of the key characters and qualities of Devahuti is important for us to understand, and later on we'll dwell on what are those key ingredients of a successful Grahastha life. I think it'll be very useful. Maybe in the next 10 or 12 minutes, 15 minutes, we'll discuss and we'll find out. So Devavuti's character is very chaste and she's very tolerant and she's joyful. The three most important things that as Grihini or Matajis, we should understand that we have to be chaste and we have to be tolerant and joyful always because it's important for um, women to be exhibiting these characters. Then she sees her husband as guru and guide. Okay. Now, this is very difficult for us in today's Kali Yuga that many times we always fight with our husband or wife or in-laws. But if the husband is also Krishna consciousness and following all of those principles, you have to respect. But more importantly, I was hearing to one of the lectures from Nitai Sevani Mataji. Mataji also says whether the husband is a a devotee or a follower of Krishna conscious or not, respect has to be given in all aspects. It's non-compromisable, right? But it's important also to see the husband as a guru and guide. And she is eventually blessed with a son. In this case, Devahuti is eventually blessed with a son who becomes the spiritual master of the world, Kapila Muni, Kapila Dev, and he advocates the Sankhya philosophy. And one of the most important things which we have to learn uh, as part of our Grihastha life is to ideal married life is about involved in service and sacrifice, but also lead an immense um, spiritual reward. Okay, so it's very important that both of us, in the sense both husband and wife, demonstrate that qualities. So um, I'm going to share some of the important things which is so uh, needed to practice in Grahastha life. As I mentioned, we can't change the past, but we can have a good beginning now and make sure that the end is much more pleasant and much more fruitful. So one of the most important things in our Grihastha life is having a common goal. I think if we are able to get into that common goal and understand what it means to all of us, I think that will be very, very useful because we have seen in Srimad Bhagavatam various different ideal couples, right? We have heard about various ideal couples in Bhagavatam itself, right? Many Grahastha couples who have been so successful and who have shown their exemplary lives, devotion, and mutual support in spiritual progress. You take Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa, who are the first human couple who were created by Lord Brahma, right? Parents of illustrious children like Devahuti and Priyavrata. Right? Their lives were marked by completely dharma, responsibility, and guidance from higher authorities. Then subsequently, we will see Kardamuni and Devahuti. And although Kardamuni was a powerful yogi, and Devahuti was the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, their union was spiritually potent, right? And then it sort of led to the birth of Lord Kapiladev, and he's the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we also hear about Atri Muni and Anusuya. Same way, King Priyavarta and Barhismati, Shanka and Shraddha, Janaka Maharaj and Suniti, right? Janaka Maharaj, although he is mainly discussed for his renunciation, he's an ideal grihastha and also known for detached devotion. Okay, so these are all mentioned in various different parts of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, for all of these couples, if there is one thing in common, and that common goal is to have Krishna in their center. Today, if we are fighting between a husband and wife, between father and children, between mother and children, or between mother and in laws, because we have somewhere selfish motive or we want to be in control of things. But if you think of having Krishna in the center and make sure that anything and everything what you do is focused on Krishna's need, Krishna's blessings, then we can actually fine tune our Grahastha life in a very, very beautiful way. Okay. The second most important thing is about respect and respect for gender. When I say respect for gender, there is a reason why the Lord has created men as men and women as women. A man cannot be a woman and women cannot be a men. So it is important for us to understand between a husband and wife that a husband qualities are like this, a wife's qualities are like this, and it's important to understand and accept that um, this is how we have to tune. We don't have control over somebody else's behavior, but we have control over our own behavior or our own acceptance or understanding of how we want to respond and not react to that behavior, right? And the third thing is very important is happiness. In whatever we do, in whatever activity which we carry out, we should be happy and we should be ever grateful. And we should be ever grateful for the Lord for giving us this opportunity to be in Krishna consciousness, to be in association of devotees, to be in happiness, whether it's husband, wife, children, and spend our rest of our life in focusing on what most important things which we can bring. One of the most successful um, ingredients of a grihastha life, and it's very amply shown by Kardama Muni and Devahuti, is adjustment, right? Adjustment is one of the most important ingredients for our grihastha life because we all come with our own shortcomings in our life, right? Because that's the way we have been designed, we have been brought up, we have environmental, organizational surroundings impacting us. But if we adjust, um, there's one nice story here, or a short pastime where the wife is waiting for the husband. It happens to be their wedding anniversary, and as always, husband are blamed that they don't remember their anniversary. So in this case, the husband in the morning is not remembering that it is their anniversary day. The wife is actually waiting for the husband to tell or wish or do something, give her a gift and things like that. She very well knows that the husband is forgetful. It's not like that the husband is always remembering everything and things like that. So the day passes by, the evening passes by, and then when they're about to sleep, then the wife picks up this topic. Do you know the most important day of our life today? And you forgot about it and starts ranting and left, right, center and blaming, blaspheming the husband. Instead of that, if she had told in the morning itself, hey, today is our wedding anniversary. Why don't we do something really good for Krishna? Maybe we can go to the temple and we can honor Prashadam and things like that. This situation would not have happened. They could have had a very peaceful sleep and thereby um, understood each other. But unfortunately, here, because of the ego and the control what each one of us have want to have, we sort of try and suppress the other person's feelings. So it is very important to have adjustments in our life. understand the shortcomings, understand and take it in the right spirit that a wife is like this, so it's okay. I will do certain things for my wife, and same way, a wife will should understand the husband and take things into the stride. And all of us, the husband and wife and the children, if we start focusing on serving and share happiness, because service is the most important thing. And beyond that, whether we do service at home, for our family members, at the temple, in various different activities, during festivals, and also share our happiness, that is the secret recipe for a successful grihastha life. Right? And tolerant, we have to exhibit the mode of tolerance, because um, if we have to go through and cross over this samsara sagara, the most important ingredient is also tolerance. Tolerance with husband, tolerance with wife, tolerance with in-laws. And if we make that as our primary focus in terms of anything we do, we see all these people in no, Pandita Samadharshinaha, that soul, the Jivatma is the most important thing and not the polity composition. Then we start to realize that each of us come with our own um, deficiencies. So, tolerant couples succeed much more. There is no perfect husband or there's no perfect wife, right? So, we have to um, manage with what we have got, and beyond manage, we can be really ecstatic and do what wonderful things has shown by these grihastha couples. And the last thing is we do a lot of judgment and assessment. We should stop assessing people. We should stop judging people. Never ever judge or assess people, because each of us have our own qualities, drawbacks, and a good devotee, selfless devotee, is one who sees the good things in others and make sure that we have a wonderful life to lead. Right. So, with that, I would like to wrap up today's session. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to speak a few words and glorious pastimes of the Lord, and how the Lord is being described in this chapter by Kardama Muni, and also the sweet engagement of Kardama Muni and Swayambhuva Manu and interaction. And subsequently, the story continues between Kardama Muni and Devahuti and the great pastimes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I will stop sharing this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. And I think all these lessons which you gave, I wish we could have got it all those earlier, which we have got at the later stages of our life after reading Srimad Bhagavatam. But still, it is not too late for Grasthas to practice. Anybody has any question or comments before I say furthermore?
That's why I said very importantly that we can't change the past, but we can
Yes.
start where we are today and change the ending. So we still have in our hands that instead of cribbing that, oh, my past is been like this, I got this kind of a wife or I got this kind of a husband, we can actually do a good big start from now on and lead a very successful Grihastha life, pleasing the Lord, pleasing his devotees, pleasing our Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Um, yeah. Any questions, any thoughts, any comments?
Hare Krishna, Achutya Padaravinda Prabhu. Thank you very
Hare
much for
Krishna.
the wonderful session, especially the last part about the Grahastha life, I think it really resonates with the message which Premadat Prabhu has posted in the group, where Prabhupada wants everyone to be a happy devotee. And only a happy devotee can make other happy devotees. So I think you have touched upon a very, very wonderful topic of Grahastha life, because that is the holding no essence for all of us actually, whether we work, do business, do service in temple, but major of the time our life is dependent on our Grahastha life, and you have put wonderful points like how
या
no
मेरे बच्चे बड़े होकर क्या बनेंगे? अगर उसके पापा ने सही इन्वेस्ट किया तो कुछ भी बन सकता है, एस्ट्रोनॉट से लेकर एंटरप्रेन्योर तक। और अगर नहीं किया तो फिर क्या? पता नहीं, हंस ले। पर तू क्या कर रहा है इस फ्यूचर के लिए? एक्सेस
What is this?
Sorry, I don't know how it came. So I think you have touched upon wonderful points like how even for any relationship, Krishna being center is very, very important. Otherwise, no, we all, if Krishna is not in center, then we only try to take something out of that relationship instead of giving or serving. And no, I just wanted to add one point to all the points which you have added about grasthas, like nature of Prabhu and wife, and how we should not be judgmental. They're very, very wonderful points. Many a times I feel that most of the devotees think that whatever grastha life they are leading and doing seva, like for example, for the children's for their spouse, for their for their parents, for their relatives, they think it is not Krishna, it is not an activity of Krishna consciousness, it is not an activity of bhakti. So I think even we should have this point in our mind that serving our family, serving our family members is also an act of devotional service. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Wonderful session.
Absolutely, very, very, very important. Many a times I've seen devotees who are in Krishna consciousness. They think only serving the Lord is the most important thing, no doubt about it. But equally important is serving the family members, especially the parents and in-laws. We have to not ignore, because eventually the Lord will see how compassionate we are for all the living entities. So it is very important that whilst we are in Krishna consciousness, we also treat all of the people in the family or even outside the family with same kind of respect, and do our duties and be compassionate. Very well said, Ramya Prabhu.
Another important point, bro, which you were touching base as well, is that, and I see that missing in upcoming youngsters is expectations from married life. I think um, people have too many high expectations, and you were touching base on that, that, we have to accept that there is, faults in our partners. So the thing is that most of the people, they have very high expectations from them. Thanks to Bollywood and Hollywood or whatever you call it, people think that my husband or wife is going to be somebody from some other world. They are also like us. Well, like we have faults, they're also going to have faults, and we have to learn to accept. And that's where the Krishna consciousness helps, because once we practice Krishna consciousness, we know that only perfect person is Krishna. Nobody else can be perfect. So, our acceptance for, our partners becomes more acceptable we are. So that was the reason earlier generation, if we see that, there was no concept of divorce or something like that, because,
Yeah.
a lot of, if we don't say spirituality, at least religiosity was there earlier.
Yes.
And, so people understand that, that there is only perfect person can be Supreme Lord, nobody else. So if we keep our expectations very low, because Bhagavad Gita, when we read, we say that ahankar vimudhatma karta hammiti manyate. So out of slowly we start understanding that, I'm not the doer. So when we have that feeling, then it affects all aspects of life, including Krishna, including Grasta life. So I think it's a very important lesson from Kardam Muni and Devahuti and many other which you quoted, Prabhu, many other couples,
Yeah.
which have shown by example. And we'll read this Kardam Muni and Devahuti story further, and we'll see how Devahuti serves and how Kardam Muni, take care of her. And it is a very, very important that we lead a very happy, peaceful, Krishna conscious Grahastha life to become successful in Krishna oneness, because it goes in parallel. And you were giving very nice example from Guru Maharaj, this thing that unless we are like I don't think here anybody is brahmachari, like full-time devotee in temple and all that. Our lives are equally affected by the surroundings. So we have to have a peaceful professional life, peaceful in the sense it's not disturbing our spiritual activities. We cannot expect peaceful in today's world professional life, but at least conducive professional life, conducive happy grihastha life, and people around us. And that quote which Guru Maharaj's quote I just forwarded. Unless and until we are happy devotees, we cannot make other devotees happy. So for preachers, it is very, very important, that we all be happy in our Krishna conscious life, and we teach, others to be happy as well. So sometimes, many times, once we become some little bit of, and because being a circle servant, I keep talking to people. People come to me with their problems in spiritual life. I'm not talking about material, of course. People come with that also. But spiritual life, a lot of people come and share their challenges. And one of the challenges they share is that, devotees with whom they are interacting, they don't get very good vibes in terms of, they are sometimes very authoritative devotees and sometimes very devotees who taunt and do. So one thing we have to understand is that, it's not just Grahastha life, it applies to Grahastha life as well, but when interacting with devotees as well, that, please understand that our behavior affects the people around us.
Yeah.
So we have to acknowledge that fact that, if we are not, um, our behavior, our conduct, our interactions with others are not pleasant, then don't expect that you will get it back as pleasant experience. You will get it what you give. I heard in one of the speaker in one of the lecture where if you squeeze orange, you will get orange juice. If you squeeze, mango, you will get mango juice. So whatever is there inside, that all comes out. So unfortunately, we cannot pretend to be good devotee for very long if it is not that transformation is not happening inside.
Yeah.
And Grahastha life is also not an exception to that. So we all should ensure that we keep introspecting that whatever practicing we are practicing in our reading and hearing, we are practicing as well. We are trying to change ourselves. Those transformation we should work upon seriously. And then automatically it will reflect in our Grahastha life, professional life, and in our interaction with devotees as well. Thank you, Prabhu, for bringing out such important points. Very, very thought-provoking chapter.
Thank you, Prabhu. Just one thing I wanted to share. And Kardamamuni actually says this to Devahuti in chapter 23. And I'm sure as we progress next to 3 chapters, it will come up. He says, even household life, if centered on the Supreme Lord, becomes a gateway to liberation. Okay, so in essence, they all shared the goal was not just to build a home, but to make it a temple for Krishna consciousness. So between husband and wife, if we are able to understand, adjust, tolerate, respect, have common goal, I sort of summarized in all those key words or qualities what we should have. It will lead to a lot of good, wonderful liberation, which ultimately all of us want to go back home, back to Godhead and at the lotus feet of Mukunda. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Any other questions? We're already late, I think, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful session. And that too coming from your mouth. What thought is coming to my mouth. Mataji, and you are the best Grasta example in our congregation. And the moment you started the chapter, this came to my mind that you also must have done lot of penance and japa, tapa, that you got Mataji as your wife. So for me, Kardan Muni and Devahuti Mata's best example or blessings are on you, Prabhuji. And this chapter coming from your mouth is like बोलते हैं ना सोने पे सुहागा. It's very nice listening from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. All glories to our Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada for making me to speak. But I don't know about when you come home only, you will know the real truth. But I can tell you one thing. Over the last 27 years now if I don't remember, she is also on the call, so I'll have to be very careful. So this year will be 27th year of completion. So I can tell you one thing, not that we were fighting before and later on, but very importantly, the journey has become that much more fruitful, that much more meaningful, that much more purposeful over the last 5, 6, 7 years. The moment we have added Krishna into our life, I can vouch for it in any forum. That's very, very clear. Because having Krishna in the center makes your thinking about the other person in a very different way. It is not about satisfy your own self-ego or selfish desires and things like that. But the moment you understand it is for a common purpose, it's common goals. And that adjustment and all of those things which I spoke, having a common goal, having respect for gender, female and male, being happy, being grateful, adjusting, tolerating, and then without any assessment or judgment, it really helps. So that much I can tell you. I am nowhere close to Kardama Muni in terms of what Kardama Muni did in terms of his penance and 10,000 years, but
Some austerity of previous lives, Prabhu.
huh?
Some austerity you must have done previous life.
Krishna, thank you. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, Haribol.
And I have to say that I'll have to thank my wife, Apara Gandharvika, for bringing me into Krishna consciousness. There is no doubt about it. And I'm really grateful and ever thankful for that.
Thank
Hari
you.
Hari, all goes to Mataji to patiently, slowly. I have seen all that journey, so
Yeah, I think
she just kept her patience and to bring you up, and you came. Very nice.
every single devotee or every single senior Vaishnava, when we used to get association, when right from Guru Maharaj to various Maharajas and Sannyasis and even senior Vaishnavas, her question was only one. Please pray for my husband so that he can come into Krishna consciousness. There's only one question, one prayer she will ask. Not for herself, but for me. Anyway, if I too much praise also, it is not good. They say they will sit on the head. So on a lighter note.
You'll get it back, Prabhu,
All
today.
glories to Guru Maharaj. Yeah. I have to get my next meal, so I'll stop here.
Okay. Swami Prabhu, can we close?
Yes, I think if no one is having any other comments or questions. So any announcements, Prabhu, for Sunday or any other activities you want to do?
No, I think tomorrow we are having Brahmotsav, so please join at Rajeshwar Prabhu's house for Brahmotsav. I think all the respective leaders have sent the messages in their groups. So please don't miss the wonderful opportunity, because we'll be giving the Abhishekam to their lordships. So wonderful occasion to be together. And as Prabhu was saying, that Krishna is the center of our life. So we will just together, we'll glorify the Lord, we'll enjoy Katha, we'll watch lots of Abhishekam, and then as usual, wonderful prasadam we'll have at the end. That is the goal, ultimate goal of our. So please don't miss that. And there are some upcoming festivals. Panihati is going to come, so temple is planning. So we'll keep you informed. Panihati festivals, Tanyatra. There is Jagannath Rath Yatra, which is confirmed date is June 29th on Sunday. So it's going to be there. Please keep yourself free on the Sunday so that we can all participate and serve in Jagannath Rath Yatra. More anyway, we'll give you information.
Prabhu, with your permission, on that note, I also want to take this opportunity to invite all of the devotees who are here and we'll send a formal message as well. Next Saturday, which is 31st of May, we are having Abhishekam of their Lordship Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Mai, Sudarshan, and also Gaur Nitai. So I do please request all of you to mark this date in your calendar, 31st of May, 2025. We will send a formal invitation to all of you, but please make yourself available for the pleasure of their lordship and be participating in the 9th anniversary of our beloved deities. So this will be in the morning, followed by lunch prasadam next Saturday.
Hari. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so I think thank you everyone for joining this session, and we'll meet again for the Srimad Bhagavatam session together on probably next Saturday early in the morning, because I think Abhishekam would be probably in the morning 9:30. So I think we can still have this session coming Saturday. So thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha
Hare Krishna.
kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya.
Kripasindhuvescha Paddanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Ananda Koti Vaishnava.